أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير الحمد لله رب العالمين. A very warm welcome and ahlan wa sahlan marhaba bikum, and alhamdulillah, with the tajweed, let us take our time today to quickly go through our notes, and then inshallah we will see if we can go through at least one or two ayahs and find some rules. So let us start with the dua that Allahumma arina al-haqqa haqqan warzuqna ittiba'ahu wa arina al-batila batilan warzuqna ijtinabahu. Allah, help us see the truth as truth and then give us the ability to follow it. And Allah, help us see wrong as wrong and give us the ability to avoid it. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So inshallah, let's see how much do we remember. So can anybody tell me what is the meaning of tajweed? You can unmute and quickly tell me what is the meaning of tajweed. You can type also if that is more convenient for you. So let's see. So when we are sitting for tajweed, what does it mean? If you
Tajweed is the rules which you use to read the Qur'an.
Okay, beautiful. So, and it's from the root word Jeem Wow Daal, Jayyid, which means to beautify as well, right? So these are definitely, this is a way how we beautify the Quran, and it's knowing the makharij and knowing where we need to stop. So that is what makes it beautiful. So yes, the rules we discussed, some of them in our class, and today we will go through them. We did Ahkam Meem Sakinah. We did Ahkam Noon Sakinah. Makharij is the exit points, knowing the letters, their articulation points, where these letters are coming out, knowing these qualities, their characteristics, which includes like knowing which letters are always light, which letters are always heavy. Then we talked about some letters which are sometimes heavy or light, right? And then in terms of stretching, mud is, stretching. So we learned about different maduds and their types and the characteristics. So let's look at the first one, and who would like to explain this rule? Go ahead. Who would like to explain this, what this rule is about? Which letter does it involve?
Meem.
Excellent. This letter is Meem. And what do we have to do now? When we look in our Quran and we see a Meem, what do? We look for the Meem to be either empty or if it has a small sign on it, right? So if the letter if the letter is empty, we know there could be two situations. If it's followed by a Meem, then it's called, in the theory, it will be called idgham sakina, but in actual, we will give it some time. So who would like to recite this first example?
I'll do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Lakum ma.
Beautiful. So you're going to give timing, right? So lakum ma. So there was this nasal sound and we give it some time. The second case also, we're going to give it some timing. So anybody wants to say it? The second example, when you have an empty meem followed by a ba. So this is known as ikhfa meem sakina. And that means hiding, and you're going to again give it some time, right? So anybody wants to say this word?
I can do it.
Go ahead, Hamna.
وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ.
Barakallahu fi, mashallah. And the last one is when you do not give it that timing, it's called meem ilhar, and you just say the meem and you move on to the next letter. So let's see who would like to say that. And we're always going to scan, whenever we are scanning meem, if there's a small C and an inverted C there, then that means is a sukoon sign and means we just need to say this meem out. So go ahead, Nabila, can you try this time? Nabila, are you there? Okay, Mariam, can you try it? Mariam Shah?
Which one?
The last example for Idhar.
Do I read like the...
Just read the portion. Let me highlight it for you. It's right here. Can you read this portion?
Okay. Lam tundirhum la yu'minun.
Alhamdulillah. So you're not going to give timing there. You're just going to say these out loud. Lam tunzirhum la yu'minun. So there's no like nasalization sound. So if this is clear, go ahead and type 1 that yes, we can do Ahkam Meem Sakinah very well now. In the Quran, we can identify Idgham Meem Sakinah, Ikhfa Meem Sakinah, and Izhar Meem Sakinah. Barakallah fi Isra. MashaAllah. The rest of us, how do we feel? Anybody still confused on this? Or type 1 if you are very clear on the rules of Meem Sakina when there is a sukoon on Meem, how I need to handle it. Alhamdulillah. Barakallah fi Maryam. MashaAllah. Alright, so the second one is Ahkam of Noon Sakina and Tanween. And we saw a couple of situations here, and on the rightmost side is our sheet that can help us. It's a fast sheet that can just help us remember just what to look for, what to scan for. So anytime I see a noon with a sakin sign on it, or I see standing tanween. Okay, these are also known as parking tanweens, like they're right on top of each other. I hope you can see them very clearly. They're right on top of each other. So anytime you're reading, reciting the Quran, you see a small C, a small sign on it, and they're parked, then you know that you're just going to do an izhar. Just like you remember in Meem, izhar Meem Sakina, you saw that little C sign, a sukoon sign, and you just said the Meem out. Here also you are just going to say the noon out. So for example, here you're just going to say Qawmin had, Sami'un alim, Man amana. Alright, if this much is clear, go ahead and type 5 this time. That yes, izhar noon sakina with tanween is very easy. I just look for standing tanween, park tanween, and a small C sign. Beautiful. The second one is that you see a small Meem on the noon. Okay, so this is very easy. Now you can see that this noon is flipping its sound. It's turning into a Meem sound. All right, and you do it with the gunna. So whenever you see this, even with the fathatain, kasratain, or dammatain, you will see this sign there. Then very easy. Okay, let me see if I can pick up the pen. Just turn back into a mouse. Okay, so if you see this, then all you're gonna do is just gonna bring out the Meem sound instead of bringing the noon sound. So for example, Mim ba'di, Mim ba'di. So no noon sound, right? Jaza'am bima. So you're just gonna treat it as the Meem. If this is very clear, go ahead and type 6 this time. MashaAllah, Rahma is following along. The rest of us, any confusion, question, go ahead, you can unmute and ask. If this is clear, then type 6 that yes, if I see a noon with a small Meem sign on it, or if I see a tanween with a small Meem sign on it in my Madani Mushaf, then I know this is a Ahkam Noon Sakina or Tanween, and this is called Iqlab, and I am just turning into a Meem. Barakallah fi Hamna, Jazakumullah khair. I can't see you, so your text or your comment or your sound can only make me know that you understood. All right, the last one is an empty noon, or as we say in Tanween, a walking Tanween. All right, so this is like when the Tanween is like when in Dhammatain, they're both in the same direction as if they're walking together. And in this one, the Fathatain and the Kasratain, they are a little bit separated out. Okay, so you can see them walking. So try doing this with your feet right now. If you were in the classroom, I would have made you stand up and try to do it, right? So let's try to do it. And you see this empty noon, then it could be idgham, which means merging, or it could be ikhfa, which means hiding. Okay, so other than for these two letters, which we remember lam as lake and ra as river, the rest all of them we will do like a nasalization sound or a nasal sound. So which means with gunna we are gonna do it. So let's say it, for example, here, shay'in wakil, faman ya'mal. Okay, and min qabli shay'in qadir. All right, and in case of lam and ra, we are just going to directly skip to that letter. So that's where we are saying milladunhu, right? Mir rabbika. So you see, even here, this noon has a sign on it. So here it was an izhar, but here this was a idgham, noon sakina. So if this is clear, then go ahead, type 1, that Alhamdulillah. If I see a noon with a sukoon, there is a stopping at noon, or there's tanween, then I know how to handle it, Alhamdulillah. And any questions you can ask at this time. Any questions that you can ask. And the letters for idgham are ya, ra, meem, lam, waw, and noon. So lam and ra, you saw the examples. Ya and waw, you saw the examples. And I think which one letter is not, the example is not there is, which letters? The noon and the meem. Those examples are not there, but other than that, I think you have all the examples covered there, right? Alhamdulillah. And you will see a little small W sign for those, other than only for lam, for ya and waw, you won't see that W sign, okay? But for the rest of them, you will see the little shadda sign there, milladunhu, okay? So Alhamdulillah, with that, we then Ahkam, Meem Sakinah, and Noon Sakinah. And this part is obviously all theory, but here it's easy when you are actually in your Quran, then you can see this through these words. Now, heavy and light letters, we know that there are these heavy letters, which are 7 in number, which are always heavy. There are some combinations to remember them, like Wussa, Baqtin, Qid. So you can remember them through that. And the alif, lam, ra, we looked at different variations. Sometimes they are heavy, sometimes they are light, right? So who can tell me when is the lam is going to be a heavy lam? In which situation? When is lam going to be heavy? You can type the word also. If you know which word, it becomes heavy. One of the two most beautiful words.
Is it the word Allah?
Excellent. And what will be the condition? Is it always going to be heavy in the word Allah, or are there any conditions?
If there's fatha or dhamma before.
Very good, mashallah. So if there is a fatha and a kasra, fatha and a dhamma before, then it's going to be heavy. So for example, when I will say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, so in Bismillah, will it be heavy or light?
It would be light because of the kasra.
Excellent. So Meem has a kasra before, so Millahi would be like a light lam. Excellent. So that was a good review that, when you have in front of the name Allah or Allahumma, you have the fatha or a dhamma, then those are heavy, otherwise they are light. And Ra, we looked at situations, and then these are the huruf muraqqaqa, which are light huruf, and they are always light. So if alif becomes heavy, if it's followed by a heavy letter, and is light if it's followed by a light letter. So be careful when you're reciting. You don't want to say ba, ta, no, ba, ta, ta. You want to keep it light, right? And alhamdulillah. So the mud was a long topic we went through, and we know about tabi, natural mud, how they are created. If there's a fatha before alif, there is a dhamma before waw, and there's a kasra before ya, then that is a natural mud. And who can tell me the meaning of mud? What does the mud even means? When we say mud, what does it mean? Yes. What is the meaning of mud?
Does it mean to elongate?
Excellent, very good. Mud means to extend or stretch or elongate. All right, so that was beautiful, excellent. So these are madoods, and the more you keep coming back to it, check, like mad badal is when it's the mud is being formed because of the letter hamza. That's called mad badal. This letter, this combination here is a hamza. So amanu, utu, it is mad badal, but since the first letter is hamza, it's just called mad badal. All right, and awad is when you are stopping, then you are going to drop a fathatain into a single fatha, right? And sila sughra is when you are going to short connect it, and that is 2 haraka long, you're going to keep it. But if a hamza comes after it, it turns into a sila kubra. Why? Because now it becomes a derived mud. and we looked at all these different options. So let's go ahead and let's look one practical example. But here again, you have this beautiful sheet in front of you. So if you are teaching any sibling or any younger kid about these mud, they need to remember these signs, right? So if you have a natural mud, you just extend it 2 haraka long, right? And if you see this standing fatha, which is alif saghira or waw saghira, ya saghira, you just stretch it 2 times. But as soon as you see a mud sign or hamza there, then that's like a 4 to 5 count long, right? A mud sign and followed by a hamza, you can stretch it 4 to 5. Okay, because there's all this theory on this other end. And if you see a mud sign and it is followed by a shadda, then you can stretch it to 6 haraka long. Okay, and there's only one case in which there is a hamza after this long mud where you stretch it 6 count, and that is mad sukoon, mad sukoon mukhaffaf, talmi mukhaffaf. This all this thread, if you come from this side all the way here, then that is just one example of al-an. Okay, so inshallah, let's do one recitation here and see how much we can apply here. Any particular ayah you guys want to recite, or I can just bring it up, inshallah. So the third juz, the first ayah is Tilka Rusul. Go ahead. Okay, let's do a little shorter ayah. So that will be 254. So who would like to recite? And everybody can write one rule that they can find into the text box.
I'll recite.
Okay, inshallah. And I will mark as you recite, and then you and the rest of the friends, those who are listening, you can go ahead, you can type any one rule that you're able to find from Noon Sakina or Meem Sakina or Amad. Go ahead, Rahman.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة ولا شفاعة والكافرون هم الظالمون.
MashaAllah, barakallah fi, jazakumullah khair for being the first one and first one on reciting. I'm going to be asking each one of you for a rule, okay? You have to give me a rule. So for you, I just want to tell you, Rahma, one thing, when you mashallah reciting, don't stretch it more than 2, okay? This natural must.
Okay.
Anfiqu, keep it 2. Don't take it to its 3, okay? Razaqna, just keep it at 2 count, okay? But mashallah, okay. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to start my question. First question is, Hamna, can you give me one mud from this ayah? Any one mud?
Yeah, so there's natural mud, tabri.
And I hope you guys can annotate. So if you want to circle it or just for all of us to see it clearly, you can do it. Or you can just say it to me also, with the word also. Okay, so the natural mud is where? Which one are you mentioning?
I was saying here.
Okay, beautiful. And the one before it, what do you remember? What is this name gonna be? This mud here?
Sorry, one second. I'm looking at my notes.
Yeah, I know. Look at this right here. We just did this right here. If your notes are in front of you, can you say the mud name now? You see it's written differently. It's Hamza Fatha Alif Sukoon. And what is this? Madid. Badal. Excellent. Thank you. Anything else you want to say? Or mashallah, this was also Madid Tabi. This was Mao Madiyah that you pointed out. So beautiful. Jazakumullah khair. And Isra, can you give me one rule for Meem Sakina? First, identify a Meem Sakin and tell me what I'm going to do there. Real quick, we can take 1 or 2 more minutes.
Are you talking about
First, find me a Meem which has a sukoon on it. Which Meem is you think is sukoon? Find a meme first to begin with.
On the next ayah or the one?
It's the same ayah. We're just dealing with 254.
Okay.
Let me make it bigger so you only see this ayah. Okay. Go ahead. You see a meme? Should I help you? I found the meme here. Go ahead, tell me the rule now.
Wait, can I just say it or do I have to annotate?
Yes, tell me what you're gonna do with this meme. From Meem Sakinah rules. Yes, Isra.
The one where you skip it?
Skip it? So
no, the one where you like, because you're gonna skip it because there's a shadda.
You're gonna skip it? Okay. So, you know, like if you have your notes in front of you, then take a look again. When we talk about Meem Sakina, we said if it's an empty Meem and then there's Meem Shadda, what you're gonna do? We're gonna do idgham, right? And we practice this. We said lakum ma. So now tell me how you're gonna recite this word here.
Kum min.
Say it again one more time.
Kum min qabli.
Very good. So razaqnakum min. Excellent. So you're gonna give some timing here. Beautiful. Mariam, can you give me one noon sakina rule or a tanween rule? I can point to a tanween and you can give me the rule for that. So just let me know on this word. How are we gonna read it? Mariam Shah. Okay, Nabila, are you there? Okay, yes, it's an idgham, but how are you gonna say it? Can you say it? And I told you wow and ya, you're not gonna see the W sign. You're not gonna see the shadda sign. Mariam, can you unmute and say it? Read it. And for those who are thinking, I just want to show you here, just like that. We talked about idgham, merging, and shay'in wakil. We did that one example. Oh, you can't unmute. Okay. So one last, I think Kinza, that is you. Kinza, you want to say this?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Excellent, alhamdulillah. So you merge the sound and that's how you said it. Barakallah fi, jazakumullah khair wa ahsanul jaza. So inshallah with that we will stop here. So definitely keep looking at your notes again and again so that you become more familiar with it, inshallah. And the more we are able to think, the more we are able to act and reflect. And inshallah, I hope those of you who are able to join for the picnic, we are able to see you also. May Allah accept all the efforts. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us recite the Quran the way it should be recited. And ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا جزاكم الله خير كثير. So السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.